Hello, my name is Luke Lapean, and I am currently working with Thrive for Life Prison Project. At the request of Thrive's very own Father Zach Prisuti, I will be giving you a short overview of the history of Rikers Island. I would first like to acknowledge that I will not be taking a look at the indigenous history of this region, but it is very important to acknowledge that before there was any European settlement, there was a rich tradition of people living on and in relationship with this land. However, for our purposes, the history of Rikers Island could be said to begin around 1664 when a Dutchman by the name of Abraham Rikers took possession of the land. His family held on to it for a couple hundred years, during which time it was used as a training ground for Union troops during the American Civil War. In 1884, the Rikers family sold the island to the city of New York for $180,000. The city used it as a garbage dump. At this time, much heating was accomplished through the burning of coal, and all those ashes had to be dumped somewhere out of the way. Rikers was the site chosen, and there was so much smoldering ash on the island that there are stories of just it always looking like it was on fire, just like an unearthly glow and clouds of smoke surrounding it. However, when the 1939 World's Fair was scheduled to be held in Flushing Meadows, Corona Park, Queens, right across the river from Rikers, it was realized that a smoking garbage dump might not be the most attractive feature to people visiting from all over the world. The decision was made to move the garbage to Staten Island, and plans to put jail facilities on the island were put into motion. Prior to this, New York incarcerated people on Blackwell's Island, better known today as Roosevelt Island, and it was on Blackwell's Island that the Society of Jesus, of which I'm a part, first encountered these men and women. It was in the late 19th century, and the Jesuits there counted over 5,000 men and women among their parishioners. So see, Father Zach is just another member of a long line of Jesuits serving our brothers and sisters behind the walls here in New York City. Rikers Island held its first inmate in 1932, and they soon realized that the island at 87 acres was too small for their vision of holding thousands of incarcerated peoples. So all of that ash that previously had just been dumped in garbage dumps was pushed into the river, expanding Rikers Island to its current dimensions of over 400 acres. Originally, there were just 26 buildings on the island, but in the 1950s, 60s, and 70s, there was a cycle where Rikers Island would get very full and overcrowded. The buildings would be expanded, more buildings would be created, and then those two would become filled very quickly. You may draw your own conclusions from that data. It was in 1966 that the infamous Rikers Island Bridge, otherwise known as the Francis R. Buono Bridge, was opened. Prior to this date, all traffic to and from Rikers Island was accomplished by ferry. One of the most uplifting, perhaps, stories of Rikers Island occurred in 1957 when a Miami-bound jet taking off from LaGuardia Airport crashed into Rikers immediately following takeoff, at which point dozens of incarcerated men from Rikers rushed to the plane, rescued the passengers before the plane blew up. 81 of these heroes of Rikers received shortened sentences in recognition of their actions. In 1971, the first women were incarcerated on Rikers Island. Prior to this date, the women's jail for New York City was in Greenwich Village. The current movement to #close Rikers is unfortunately not a new debate, extending back at least 50 years. There has always been recognition of the harm that can occur to our brothers and sisters held behind the walls, and movements to alleviate this have often been seen to include closing Rikers. Who knows? Perhaps within our lifetimes, someone will be able to do a history of Rikers after it has been closed. Thank you for listening, and I hope that this was helpful to you. I ask that you keep Thrive for Life and all of our brothers and sisters behind the walls in your prayers, and please know that we will be praying for you as well. God bless.